It started on a quiet Sunday afternoon when my world shattered. My best friend, Daniel, someone I had known since high school, came to my house uninvited. I thought he was just stopping by for a chat, but instead, he leaned back on my couch with a smirk and said, "You have no ambition. That's why your wife picked me." At first, I thought it was a cruel joke, but the confidence in his eyes told me he meant every word. My chest tightened, and before I could respond, he added, "She needs a man who knows how to aim higher." I didn't believe him. Not entirely. My wife, Melissa, had been distant for months, but I chalked it up to work stress. I confronted her that evening, and instead of denying it, she simply looked away and whispered, "I'm sorry." That was all I needed to hear. The betrayal hit harder than anything I had experienced. My wife and my best friend, the two people I trusted most, had been secretly tearing my life apart. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. Instead, I stayed calm, which scared Melissa more than any outburst could. I told her we would talk later, and walked away. In my mind, I was already forming a plan. I wasn't going to just leave them. I was going to make them regret ever crossing me. First, I started digging. I knew Daniel had a side hustle that wasn't exactly legal, selling stolen auto parts online. I also knew Melissa had been using my credit card for shopping trips that were actually hotel stays with him. I quietly gathered bank statements, screenshots, and even messages from her phone that she carelessly left unlocked one night. Every piece of evidence went into a neat folder. Then, I called my lawyer. I explained everything and gave him the evidence. He advised me to stay silent until the right moment. Meanwhile, I pretended everything was normal. I even invited Daniel over for drinks a few times. He probably thought I was too broken to fight back. One night, while Daniel was bragging about a big sale coming up, I recorded every word. I asked him questions that made him reveal enough about his illegal activities to be incriminating. He laughed, thinking I was just being curious, but that conversation was the nail in his coffin. A week later, I set my plan in motion. First, I sent all the evidence of Melissa's spending and infidelity to my lawyer, who immediately filed for divorce, on my terms. In our state, infidelity could cost her heavily in settlement negotiations. Second, I anonymously tipped off the police about Daniel's stolen parts operation, attaching the recording and screenshots. 2 days later, Daniel was arrested. Melissa tried to call me, crying that she didn't know it would get this far, but I ignored her. She moved in with her parents after the arrest, probably realizing that her ambitious new man wouldn't be around for a long time. When we went to court for the divorce, Melissa's lawyer tried to argue for alimony, but my folder of evidence shut that down instantly. She left with nothing but her clothes. I kept the house, my savings, and, most importantly, my dignity. Daniel's trial didn't take long. He was convicted and given a few years in prison. Word spread quickly in our old friend group, and everyone knew exactly what he had done to me. His reputation was destroyed, and no one wanted to be associated with him anymore. Melissa tried to reach out months later, saying she made a mistake and wanted to talk. I sent her a single reply, "You made your choice. Live with it." I blocked her number right after. Life without them was surprisingly peaceful. I focused on my career, started working out, and even reconnected with old friends who had been distant while I was married. My confidence came back, stronger than ever. Every now and then, I hear updates. Daniel is still behind bars. Melissa is struggling financially, working a job she hates. And me? I'm thriving. I bought a new car, took a solo trip abroad, and even started dating again, slowly, and this time with my eyes open. I never set out to ruin their lives, but I wasn't going to let them ruin mine without consequences. My revenge wasn't loud or messy. It was precise, calculated, and unforgettable. The day Daniel told me I had no ambition, he thought he was on top of the world. Now, he's sitting in a prison cell, and my so-called cheating wife is left with nothing. I didn't just prove him wrong, I showed him exactly what happens when you underestimate me.